Hello, folks. So, on today's video, we are going to start building, well, some people call them a 3-point hitch for a riding mower. I don't think I'm building an actual 3-point hitch, but it will be a lift and it'll have a ball on it so that I can lift up my trailers and move them. And there'll be more that I can do with it than just that. But you'll see that as we go along. And what we are going to be using to build it is an old U-Haul uh, trailer hitch. And I believe that most of the materials we need will come out of this. We will need a few more things. Luckily, we got a junk pile right over there. That ain't really what I call junk. That's good stuff. So anyway, we've got to disassemble some of this this old U-Haul hitch in order to use the materials out of it. And so I've got to go in here and cut these welds and get that part. We need that big chunk of metal. We're going to bend it, and we'll get back to that in a minute. Alright, now we got that apart. So, what we are going to do is we've got to bend this, and we're going to make it where it's shaped like this. Okay, so we'll heat it, you know, somewhere in there, somewhere in there. We'll heat that and we'll bend that, and then that'll make the bottom piece that goes up and down. All right, now we get that, then, you know, there'll be a little piece that'll go here, one there, have a bolt through it, and that'll be mounted on the rear of the mower. And then we got this, and it will be mounted under there, okay, somewhere like this. And these pieces, like I said, will be bent going that way, and this whole thing will go up and down, and then we're going to build a mechanism to lift it. So we'll get back to that. All right, folks, what I want y'all to see. So if you ever build one of these, you'll have some idea of how I did it. I've laid out what I'm building here on the workbench. Okay, so what we've got to do is we've got to bend this where it will fit on the inside of these lines. And the reason I'm doing that is, well, number one, it lets me know what angles. And the other thing is, you know, when I'm bending this, I can lay it over on here and look to see if I'm getting, you know, if I'm getting the shape that I need. So, yeah, so we're gonna, you know, take a cutting torch, start eating these up. I've got all these marked. That soapstone don't stay on there very good, but I may come back and score these. That way, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll score those, and then that way we don't lose our marks. We'll go ahead and do that now. Now, by doing that, we don't have to worry about our marks getting erased. And anyway, we'll get that going. All right, another little secret you might want to know is when you go to bend something, you need to be square. We don't want these bends not being square. If they're not, it's really going to throw the whole thing out of whack, and you don't want that. Because once you do that, there is hardly no way to fix it. You basically have to start over. But, you know, I can't put a level on this because the workbench is not level. But just lay your speed square in there. All right, good enough. All right, one more little trick. So our score that we made is right there. Anyway, you can't hardly see it, but it's right there. So if you put the metal in the vise where that score is flush with the top of this vise, when you bend it, your part that you're trying to make is going to be bigger than it needs to be. So I've got a little piece of metal here, and roughly that's a ½ inch. Yes. Okay, so what we're using here is ½ inch. I'm going over a ½ inch. I'm going almost 3/4, I believe. Maybe, yeah, just a tad bit over a ½ inch. That, in other words, I brought this up the thickness of the metal. Okay, and then I'm going to get my bend down here as low as I can get it. I may not get it exactly right on the mark on my drawing on the board, but it'll be close enough. It'll work for what I'm doing. So another little trick. All right, one more little trick. So my bottle of oxygen is just about to run out, and that was going to take way too much oxygen to get these big bends done. So another little trick is, as I cut through most of the material, okay, and I'll do all of them like that, and bend them, and then after I get it shaped the way I want it, I'll just go back with the welder and fill in those gaps, weld them up, grind them down. You'll never know it was ever done. So there's another little trick right there, because I'm telling you, that is one stout piece of metal. Okay, so now we've got the shape that we're looking for, and it came out pretty good actually. Basically I wanted it to be 12. The rear of the lawnmower where this is going to mount is 12, so I wanted this to be 12. So, you know, and it ain't welded up yet. There's a little tweaking to do, but basically it's 12. Okay, and then the length all the way out here to the end is 16. And I'll get all these welded up, and then we'll be back. And there's another little thing we got to do. There's a little bit of a flare where these are, for whatever reason, these were bent out when it was built, and I don't need those in there. So I do have to eat these up and then straighten them out flat. I want these two to be flat and square. And then our mount for a ball, or what you might call a receiver. So this receiver will be mounted under this, and you know, somewhere similar to that, but of course under it. We could flip it over this way, and you know, we'll probably have to, you know, I don't know until I get it up under there and see, but anyway, this will be mounted up under it, and we might, let's see, this would actually be right there. I don't know. We may go back that way with it. Something similar to that. But we'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right. So we've got it laid out. And I've got a couple old squares. Okay, so that I can get everything laid out straight. And I mean, we're real close. I mean, we're within 1/8 of an inch. So right there, we're almost 1 7/8. And over there, we're just under 2 inches. So it's real close. And between there is 11, and down here is 11. So, well, it'll be good. So we're going to go ahead and get everything tack welded. All right, we got it all tack welded together. And another little, secret, really ain't no secret, but you might need to know this. Um, Whenever you're building something like this out of multiple pieces, you always want to go around and randomly tack weld. Get everything kind of tack welded together. The reason is if you just take say that spot right there and you just weld all that up, what you're going to do is you're going to warp this. And you could still warp it even if you tack weld it. Okay? It's just, that's part of the game when you do welding. And anyway. Alright. I wanted to give y'all a little demo of what it is that we're building here. Now, this old ball receiver, you know, I'll have to modify this. You know, we probably cut it off back here somewhere. We don't need that. We don't need that piece. And then these brackets, you know, we can probably go ahead and cut them off, you know, back here, because we don't need these two ends sticking out unless, you know, come up with an ideal for a good reason for them to be there. And, you know, we may shorten it and go back that way and, you know, drill some holes here, and then we'll make a couple of brackets that go right there. And then this whole thing is going to be able to go, you know, swing up and down. Okay, and then we're going to build another mechanism that will go from here down to it, and you'll have a lever over there that you can pull, and this thing will go up or down. Okay, and you know, there's some other things that we're going to do. You know, certainly the ball and all that will be removable, and then right there we'll have a way to put implements onto this. So, you know, you could have a rake or whatever, and you'll be able to raise it and lower it. And anyway, that's what we're working on. And I do appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll get back on it tomorrow. See y'all later.